So I wanted to talk about liars today, and not like politicians or, CEOs and presidents of like companies. No, I wanted to talk about liars in your friend group. Now I know most people, you have story time. I guess that's the best way to put it. Where you talk about lived experiences, usually around bonfires, get-togethers, drinking beer, having fun, social gatherings. Everybody usually just kind of passes around a little bit of a lived experience. Now, some people have, been in the military and they might share some stories. Some people were, big football stars and probably didn't get that far, but, they made it to some mediocre success. And then you have people that travel the world, stuff like that. There's a guy I know particularly, he's an explosive expert, and that's what he does is demolition work for people. He gets paid good money, and he has good stories. But you always got that one person in the friend group that just makes everything up. They, I don't know if it's self-esteem or they think value is that of like an American Pie movie, but they literally will not tell the truth because all the truth is super boring because they were always that person just sat there with a beer in their hand and contributed nothing to every situation they were a part of. Now, this particular person's stories were so far-fetched, I will give you a quick example, the first one, that should really set the tone to how far this person was really willing to lie to, make a story, make him seem like he was relevant. Now, I'm not trying to down people. Not everybody has wild lived experiences. Some of my stories were not as far-fetched and as grand as a lot of other people. And the people I hung out with, these were people that traveled. They went across the U.S. They, drank from California to New York. But a lot of those people were in bands and they traveled, and that's how they got a lot of their lived experience. But basically his story, that was the most far-fetched one, was talking about it was either a engine pulley or a tow hook pulley. Basically like a winch, stuff like that. And if you've never seen one, it has a little hook with a clasp on it. And you slide them onto stuff and it shoots over, hooks, and pops up, and then you got a hook. Well, apparently they're either pulling a vehicle out, like wrapped around a tree or something, or wrapped it over a tree. I can't remember the exact details because this was so long ago. But basically, while they were pulling it, either part of the clasp kind of bent out, or the, tow hook on whatever it was, snapped. But basically, his story was, it popped, went flying. Now, I don't know if you know this, but those, when they pop off, like when you have a winch and you're trying to pull something, they are flying at Mach screw your face up. Like they will eat the top half of your skull. And he said he caught it with his bare hand. I'm not joking. Barehanded, caught it, blocked it from this lady, was the hero of the story. And this is where it gets a little bit funnier. In all of that, it's completely disbelief that he caught it with his bare hand, didn't rip his, entire hand off. He didn't walk around with a hook in the rest of his life. No, he literally said, but I'm not above telling you, I'm not that big a man. It did hurt my hand pretty bad. It hurt, that was such a big impact. Like, I want you to think this through. First off, that thing is flying at whatever Mach 30, tear your face off, like I said. A lot of people couldn't survive that to the skull, right? Now your hand can still withstand some pretty crazy stuff. You'd be surprised. But that winch, I'm pretty sure if it flew that hard and you caught it, if you remember from Harry Potter, Chamber of Secrets, when his arm's all floppy, yeah, his hand, all the bones would be dust, pretty much just particles and sand. I'm pretty sure the blood would be coagulated, it'd be swollen. His hand would be basically that of a, Stretch Armstrong figure. There's no possible way he caught that and everything was okay. He made up stories about running from the law, which literally never happened. He did some Fast and Furious stuff, which was pretty much impossible because, put it this way, it was a back road. He said, I've been drinking and driving, I'm running from the law, I saw the blue lights, and I pull up and I go to this back road and I hit an e-brake, spin it around, put it in park, cut everything off, and the cops went right by me on this very small back road. They went right past him. From the truck they were trying to look for, they did not stop to look at the truck, the only truck on that back road. He got away from the cops that way. By the way, the truck in question doesn't have like a pulling e-brake or nothing like that. It has a simple e-brake, and it was almost impossible for him to maneuver all that because I'm going to tell you, he is not a professional driver. This was an automatic 90s model truck. It was going to be literally impossible to make anybody believe that. And I think it's unfortunate that people like that, and they don't realize it, but people like that get made fun of behind their back. A lot of people don't realize that that one person's usually only around because they're associated with another friend in the group, and that's literally it. They're just associated. So they just kind of keep them around. Now, that's just a few examples. I know pretty much everybody knows somebody that has lied about lived experiences, and it's going to go down in history as one of the biggest weird things that people do, which is just collectively, as a huge group of morons, will just lie about their lives to seem more interesting. And, you know, obviously it comes from some level of wanting to be accepted beyond what you should want, especially being accepted for what you're not. And then top it off, self-esteem issues. They just try to, you know, really up their own self-perception of themselves just so people accept them, like I said, you know, with the whole exception thing. And ironically enough, this just came up at work with a coworker, a buddy of mine, that we were talking about somebody that we both knew, and I was telling him, hey, you want to hear some funny stories? Which is, yeah, it's a little bit backhanded to say this, that, like, you know, somebody is just blatantly lying about things, but I just found it really funny and at the same time annoying when it was going on. Needless to say, he is like with most people that are in friend groups that just blatantly lie and never bring anything of substance. Pretty much was no longer around. And me and the few guys that are left from that whole drinking, you know, story time group, we just kind of stay in contact through some dumb memes and cell phone conversations here and there. But yeah, guys, this is just something I wanted to share with you. Just a bit of a goofy, wild story. But yeah, that's about all I got to say. Y'all have a good one.